Hello, my name is John Baxter with Wireless Industrial Networks. Today I'm going to be demonstrating some of the features of the DataManager software. DataManager is a complementary software application available for download at wirelessindustrialnetworks.net. It will allow us to select a gateway and to visualize sensor information, as well as configure engineering units if necessary. Our wireless network consists of a temperature probe connected to a 900 MHz transmitter. That will be sending the probe's information to our gateway. The gateway has an Ethernet jack, which I'll attach now to our network. Here I've downloaded the DataManager application and I've installed it, and then I've clicked on this DataManager icon on the desktop. The first thing we need to do is select the gateway that we want to connect to on the network. So I'll go to Settings and then Gateway Communication. Here a list of available gateways on the network is displayed. In our case we only have one gateway, so I'll select it and then I'll click Connect Gateway. If there were other gateways, I could disconnect from them and manage the gateways on the list with these other buttons. In our case I'll just click Connect. You can see that the gateway is connected, and I'll close this box. And now our sensor information is displayed in DataManager. Here in the Sensor List tab, we can see a list of probes that are currently sending measurements. We can see the tag name of the probe, the serial number which is written on the probe, the most recent value which was sent, and its engineering units. We can see whether it's user scaled or not. We'll come back to that in a minute. We can see the date and time of the most recent reading, the IP address that the reading came from, as well as the transmitted serial number. If I right-click on a probe, I can choose Sensor Configuration, and that opens the Sensor Configuration dialog box. Here I can set the tag name to TI-101, for example, and I can choose to enable user scaling. This scales the received value to an output value. So here in this example I can change degrees Fahrenheit to degrees Celsius by mapping 32 degrees Fahrenheit to 0 Celsius, 212 Fahrenheit to 100 Celsius, and setting the unit code to degrees Celsius. Alternatively, I could do the same thing using slope and offset. With those values set, I can click Save. User scaled now says yes, and the degrees are degrees Celsius, and the unit has been converted. This is especially helpful for 4 to 20 milliamp sensors to map the meaning of 4 and 20 milliamps to whatever the sensor is reading. Okay, now we can see that the tag name has been changed to what we indicated. The value now is lower and reading in degrees Celsius instead of Fahrenheit. And this user scale box says yes because user scaling has been enabled. Of course, if we wanted to disable it, we would just uncheck this box. Uncheck the Enable User Scaling box, and then click Save again to have it switch back to its native units, which are Fahrenheit, degrees Fahrenheit. Next, we'll talk a little bit about Web DashBoard. It's also a complementary software package available from wirelessindustrialnetworks.net. It allows us to view trends of values over time. DataManager will publish values to the Web Dashboard, and we configure that by clicking on Settings and then Web Dashboard. And here we tell it the host name, which is hosting Web Dashboard. By default, that will be localhost, or in other words, the machine that we're working on now. So I'll make sure that this is checked to enable publishing to Dashboard, and I'll click Save. Now, in a browser, I can navigate to the local host, and I see a list of sensors which have previously been connected to our system but have now been removed, so they're gray. But this one's bold, and that indicates that it's currently receiving data. I'll click on it, and we can see a trend of the readings that have been given over time. This is where we momentarily switched it to degrees Celsius, and then it came back up when we changed it back to degrees Fahrenheit. If I click on Edit, I can change the alarm points. Here they're set to 150, 100, 10 and 0 for high, 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 low, and low, low respectively. I can change those here to any setting that I want. And then if the reading ever goes above or below those lines, which are indicated in yellow and red here, and below in yellow and red, an alarm is triggered, and the user is notified that the reading is out of range. If I click on Set up Sensor Groups, I can create groups of individuals who are notified for alarms, and I can also click here on Set up Email Groups. This allows me to create a list of emails which are notified if the sensors go above or below the ranges that are specified. Below the trend graph, we can see some other options. I can click on Compare Second Sensor to overlay another sensor's data on top of this graph. I can filter the alarms based on time or the number of sequential alarms. And I also have a list of recent alarms. Also, there's this link to download the data in this graph as an Excel spreadsheet that lists every data point that's been received. Inside the graph, I can zoom in and out to view the data by dragging left to right. Here I can see the individual data points, and if I hover over them, I can see the time and date stamp as well as the value that was read. Thanks very much for watching. For more information, please visit wirelessindustrialnetworks.net.